Hello everyone. Today let's discuss what is happening at the US airports, particularly for elderly Indian immigrants, visa holders, and even green card holders. Recent reports show that the US Customs and Border Protection officers are increasingly targeting this group, especially those from South Asian countries like India, when they re-enter the United States, say after a trip to India. These individuals, often grandparents, are being pressured to sign Form I-407, a document that voluntarily surrenders their lawful permanent resident or green card status. This is happening at multiple ports of entry and it is raising concerns. Under the Immigration and Nationality Act of the United States, if a green card holder stays outside the US for more than 180 days, they're treated as seeking readmission and can face scrutiny over grounds of inadmissibility. Typically, abandonment of residency becomes an issue after a year abroad, but now even shorter stays, like winter visits to India, are under the microscope. Immigration attorneys have seen cases where elderly Indian green card holders are threatened with detention or removal if they resist signing the form. Under existing laws, CBP officers cannot revoke a green card. Only an immigration judge can do that. But signing Form I-407 waives the right to challenge this in the court. This pressure isn't new. During Trump's previous term, officials handed out Form I-407 on flights, pushing people to give up their green cards mid-air. Now, with Trump back in office and issuing executive orders tightening immigration, the crackdown has intensified. Vice President J.D. Vance, whose wife Usha is an Indian American, has said a green card doesn't guarantee indefinite stay, signaling a harder line on immigration. For Indian communities, especially those NRIs who split time between India and the US, this is a real issue. They are being asked to prove ties to the US, think property deeds, tax returns, or job records to counter claims of abandonment. Experts point out that stays over a year without re-entry permits often trigger removal proceedings, but even shorter absences are now flagged. The advice from lawyers is clear. Don't sign anything without legal counsel. If you refuse and stand your ground, immigration authorities might back off since everyone has a right to a court hearing and judges don't love these cases clogging their dockets. You might face a long wait in secondary inspection at the airport, maybe even face overnight holding, but standing firm can protect your status. The Indian angle here is stark. Elderly green card holders, often less equipped to navigate this pressure, are a focal point of this policy shift. Now, it's not just Indians. The ripple effect of Trump's immigration stance hitting Europeans as well. Germany's recent updated travel advisory warns that even with a visa or prior electronic approval, entry to the US is not guaranteed. The CBP has the final say. Several Germans have been detained at the border, prompting this caution. The UK advises its citizens to strictly follow entry rules, noting arrests or detentions are possible. Other cases include a Canadian and a French scientist deported over phone messages deemed hateful. These incidents tie back to Trump's executive orders, which have tightened visa vetting and border enforcement since January. European countries are now issuing travel warnings, reflecting broader unease about American policy. Immigration attorneys are also advising all non-citizens to avoid traveling out of the US as much as possible, be it H1B visa holders, student visa holders, green card holders, and everyone who is not an American citizen. There could be delays in visa stamping at US embassies and consulate in their home country. There can be extreme vetting when they return to the US. There could be secondary inspections, or there could even be an unexpected change of rules and regulations that could jeopardize your immigration status. So while the Indian community, especially its elderly, faces acute pressure, the scrutiny extends across borders, reshaping how nations advise their travelers while packing their bags to visit the United States.